Today we're reading Chapter 4 from the Coldest Winter Ever. Go ahead and tap that subscribe button, tap that notification bell so you will be alerted the next time that I record and post. Again, we're reading Chapter 4. Let's get started. Oh, be mindful that there's offensive language, but today I'm going to try to put a little spin on that. So, because it's other people around me and I'm on my lunch break and I don't need no problems. So, this may be modified, just changing out the words that may be found offensive. Okay, and do my best. Let's get going. Get started. The next weekend came so swiftly. It was 12 noon when I woke up. It was my mother's voice. She was going off about how she was not spending one more day caught up in the house. Where was her effing car? She wanted to know. Today is the day. Today is the day my effing Benz is supposed to be parked outside of the bedroom window with a big red ribbon on it. Where is it? She demanded. The tone in my mother's voice was rare. I could hardly say I ever remember it being this rough. All I could think is here go two Concorde jets about to have a head-on collision. My three little sisters came running into my room, stuffing their little bodies under the covers with me. I expected to hear Santiago yell back, but he didn't. Instead, my mother just continued blowing her cool and doing something she told me not to do. She was making it clear who the boss was. A real woman was not supposed to do that. A bad bee controlled without the man ever knowing that he was being dominated. A bad bee was so slick that she made him think he was calling the shots while she planted the seeds and was the owner of all of his thoughts. Not today, my mom's told Santiago. She didn't want to hear no ish. I got a headache, y'all. Let me pause this because my head is hurting. A bad bee was so slick that she made him think he was calling the shots while she planted the seeds and was the owner of all his thoughts. Not today, my mom told Santiago she didn't want to hear no ish. She was going out. He was going out with her today. Her birthday to buy that car. She was leaving with him, she instructed. After his business was transacted, Santiago was to buy that car she had been holding her breath for. She wasn't interested in no other presents, no matter what they were. Through the walls, I could hear the bass in Santiago's voice, but not his exact words. The next loud sound I heard was the door slamming. From the silence, I knew that both of them were gone. As my mother had said last week, she always had her way. Saturday evening, the stars fell down, 6 minutes after 6. 6 hours after their argument, I remember it clearly. That was the time the phone rang. Winter, get the kids ready. I'm coming to pick you up. I didn't recognize the slow, steady voice. What? Who is this? This is Midnight. Listen, your father asked me to pick all of you up and bring you out here. Oh, you're becoming a regular little taxi driver, huh? This is serious, he said. I'll be there in 2 hours. Click. Dang, should I beep Santiago? This had never happened before. Then I thought to myself, Midnight can be trusted. I got the three little girls ready, and 2 hours later we waited anxiously at the door. My year-old sister wanted to fight me for the front seat of Midnight's Acura. I told her to take her little tail in the back with the twins. I wonder what would make her think she could ride in the front seat with my man. Hell, she probably already had a crush on him. Little girls start getting horny at a younger age every year. Where are we going? I asked. My heart was filled with all kinds of feelings. We have no rush, just get in. I'll tell you when we get there. It's not for little girls to know. Midnight tried to fill up the empty space with the radio. Other than music, we rode in complete silence while one of my sisters tried to peel the last bits of sticky paper off her An hour later, Candy's in the back. Oh God, I thought to myself. I hope she don't suck the candy and leave it stuck to the side of the seat like she normally does. I imagine Midnight pulling over and throwing all of us out of the expressway for messing up his leather interior. I laughed to myself. Just then, the aggravating voice of Sister Soldier leaped off the radio and started choking me. The ancient African elders believed that what you sow, you reap. If you do something positive will come back to you. If you consciously do negative things, then negativity will rule your life. I sucked my teeth and thought, why don't that bee just move to Africa? She's always talking some African mumbo jumbo. Somebody should stick a bone in her nose and a plate in her lip. Maybe then she'll feel at home and shut the F up. I made myself laugh thinking, them dang Africans must have been some effed up niggas. If they believe doing something positive caused positive things to happen, why they butts all effed up, bald-headed, naked, starving, stinking, and the whole nine? They must have been doing some foul-ish. Hell, that bee don't know. She just may be talking the talk. When we got to downtown Brooklyn, I asked Midnight where he was heading. He was turning right. Our old neighborhood was to the left. I said I would tell you, he said. Minutes later, Midnight pulled over, put on his emergency blinker, and asked me to get out. Puzzled, I got out. He came around to my side. He didn't let the girls get out. I said, I know we ain't leaving him in the car. Come here, I gotta tell you something. He put his arms around me and looked me dead in the eyes. Your mother's in the hospital. She's been shot. My whole mind went blank. It was like someone took an eraser, the type they clean the backboard with in school, and just wiped everything out. 1 second later, my mouth was screaming. My mind was blank. My body was cold. Midnight's arms were around me, hugging me, embracing me, and trying to hide my face in tears from the girls. They had their faces glued to the window saying something like, ooh, winter's kissing midnight, we gonna tell mommy. My body was stiff. My mind wouldn't think. I fell out of control. What do I do? What do I do now? Is she okay? Is she gonna? Midnight held me tighter, firmer, almost as if to demand with his body that I get it together. She was shot in the face. I don't know how she is. Santiago is upstairs with her now. I'll watch your sisters. You go upstairs and check on the situation with her now. Vega will take you up on the elevator, he said, nodding in the direction of one of Daddy's men stationed at the main lobby door of the hospital. You come with me? I begged him. No, this is my position. We don't want the little ones to know nothing yet. Upstairs, Santiago looked like a madman. His face was dark with sadness. When he looked at me, I could swear that I saw tears. Something I can honestly say I've never seen in his eyes before. He hugged me hard, strong and warm, as he laid his head on top of my head. His voice whispered, I'm sorry. I effed up. I effed up. I effed up. What happened, Daddy? Is she okay? She's gonna be all right. They're operating on her now, he said, flatly. Should have just gotten her in the car, he muttered. I shouldn't have hesitated. What happened? I repeated. I never should have let her ride with me today. I knew better than that. What a stupid mistake. What a stupid effing mistake. Them and Meth is gonna feel it. Violation. He grabbed my face with both hands. They'll take care of your mother, he said, using his eyes to point out his men stationed in the waiting room. You take the children and stay with Midnight. Where you going, Daddy? Can I see Mom? My words hit his back. He walked out the door. The doctors, nurses, attendants, hell, it took the entire hospital, it seemed like, to hold me back. I wanted to see my mother. They kept telling me she's on the operating table. She'll be in intensive care later. Contamination, infection, blah, blah, blah. Pizzazz and Driguez, Two more of Daddy's workers were standing near the operating room doors. They were trying to look casual, but it's hard for two big black dudes from the streets to look casual in a hospital. It ain't like somebody's gonna mistake them for doctors or nothing. My mind started to clear up as I sat and sat and sat. It dawned on me to call Natalie. If something went down around our way, she would definitely know a little bit about it. Natalie's voice was apologetic. She said, sorry so many times you think she pulled the trigger. I didn't have to say nothing. Natalie just rambled on. I know it was them dudes from the C building on the other side. They've been trying to blow up around our way for some time now. On the low, they've been shaking dudes down, looting and terrorizing everybody. They got their little operation going on, but dang, to blast Santiago's woman in the face. That's some raw, unnecessary ish. The way I figure it, there are enough crackheads around here for everybody to get money, but they'll learn. They're young boys anyway. They'll catch it. Santiago will set them straight. It's gonna be a bloodstorm in Brooklyn tonight. She acted excited, like she was watching a heavyweight fight at Madison Square Garden or something. Where you at? Natalie questioned. The hospital, I mumbled back. Where are the kids? With the housekeeper? No, they downstairs with Midnight. Midnight? What's he doing there? She intruded, then continued on. Oh, it's like that now, huh? Oh, that's your man now, and so I hung up. Rodriguez motioned to me to come towards him. Discreetly, he leans toward me, saying, I'm taking you downstairs now. You won't be able to see your mother until tomorrow. Midnight is waiting downstairs in the front. You'll leave with him. What exactly happened? I asked. I got no response. Drop the kids off at Aunt Lori's house, I told Midnight from the passenger seat. I want to go check on some stuff. He looked at me with complete defiance, told me that he already had the plans from Santiago and I should just sit back and do as I'm told. Just let me make one stop then, I said, figuring I needed to be on my Brooklyn block where the ish was jumping off at. I needed to be with my girls, ready to do whatever we had to do. That's the problem with all you women, Midnight said dryly, like he was 40 years old instead of 22. Nobody can tell y'all ish. You never want to listen. You never want to follow instructions. Then when ish goes down, all the F you can do is cry. We crossed the state line into New Jersey. Midnight pulled into the Marriott Hotel parking lot. As many times as I had thought about me and Midnight, hot bodies all twisted up on some crisp, clean, cold, new white hotel sheets, I never imagined that we would be here under these circumstances. We're going to stay here tonight, he said. A big smile spread across my lips. No, this is serious, he spit, as though my delight was something illegal. I'll check in for us all. Most likely nobody will ask, but if they do, we're one family renting a suite. Last name Cooper. Cooper, is that your last name? I asked. See, he said, you don't even know my name. Remember that. I thought to myself, is that supposed to be some kind of effing answer or something? The suite was immaculate, top of the line. I couldn't have asked for it more if I was on a honeymoon. There was one king-size bed in a living room with a couch with a pull-out bed inside. Each room had its own television. The bathroom was huge marble down and looked brand new. I stepped in there, took a deep breath, and figured maybe after the kids went to sleep, we could room service some Cristal and sip it while we took a bubble bath together in the jacuzzi. I needed something to relieve all my pressure. And why not get with the man I always wanted? You four can take this bed, Midnight said, pointing to the bedroom. I'll sleep in the living room. We'll be here for the next 3 days, so get comfortable and chill. You three, Don't make a mess, he said with a certain joking tenderness that must be reserved only for children. 3 days, I hollered, with my hand on my hips. Can I talk to you a minute, please? I pointed toward the living room. He rejected my order, turned the television to the Disney Channel for my sleepy sisters, and then came into the living room at his own pace. What is this ish about 3 days? I have one dress with me, the one I'm wearing. The three little bears have no clothes and already have spilled stuff all over themselves. My mother's in the hospital. I want to see her. I need to know what's going on. I'm not down with the Mission Impossible ish. And as far as the issue we're talking in the car about women crying when it goes down, that's bullcrap. I'm a fighter. I've held heat before and I know how to use it. I can cut a chick with my razor so fast and so clean she wouldn't even know what happened until she bled to death. The problem with you, Midnight, is you think you know every goddamn thing. What you're not understanding is that I can help. I can be your right hand man. Just let me know what's up, what's going on. Nothing moved except Midnight's jawbone, something Mama said was a definite sign of a man's anger. He reached in his back pocket, pulled out a stack of bills. First thing in the morning, I take you out to get some clothes. Don't worry, I realize you're a high maintenance chick. Gotta keep you up in the style you're accustomed to. How many fighters do you know find themselves in the middle of the war and all they think about is fashion and clothes on their back? Heck nah, you won't ever be my right hand man. I was impressed with the big stack of bills and excited about going shopping. I wondered if this money was from Santiago or if it was his. And he knew all along that he had orders to take me shopping. Maybe it was a little bit of both. Maybe he was using his own money, but knew Santiago would pay him back. Okay, one last question. I pushed, knowing I was aggravating him, yet enjoying the attention. What clothes are we going to wear out to go shopping in the morning when all of our stuff is dirty? Never mind. I know, the laundry service. As I pushed 8 to call down to the laundry room, he put his finger on the phone, disconnecting my call. With a muscular hand on my shoulder, he said sarcastically, think like you come from the projects. Take off your clothes and wash them in the sink. Hang them up by the heater to dry. You know how to wash clothes, don't you? The laundry service is closed now. It's almost midnight. After stripping the three bears and tossing their clothes into the sink, I put them under the sheets and blankets. I talked to them about the things we were going to do tomorrow and assured them that everything was okay. They knocked out to one. They knocked out to sleep one by one, like clockwork. I slipped off my dress and stood, checking myself out in the bathroom mirror. Thank God I listened to Mama's advice about always having nice, clean, sexy underwear. If I was a tackhead, I could have got caught out here with some beat up drawers on my butt, with the crap stain and a big old hole in them. Just the thought cracked me up. I peeled off my panties, undid my bra, put them in the sink. I stepped in the shower and let the warm water turn hotter, steaming my whole body from the tension of my crazy day. My mind was downloading slowly. What about Mama? What would her face look like now? Would she have to get plastic surgery? Would she be temporarily disfigured? What would Santiago think about her face? Of course, he would make sure she would get the best medical treatment and everything. How long would she stay in the hospital? Oh my God. Would I become a professional babysitter getting stuck with my little sisters? Santiago would definitely have to hire a housekeeper full time instead of part time to help watch the kids. What about Midnight? What was his beef with the world? Or was it like that he just liked pissing off on my world? For once, Mama was wrong. She told me that Midnight wanted me. She told me that only his fear of Santiago stood in the way. But that was not what I saw in his eyes. Fear. He never seemed fearful of anything or anyone. He just seemed straight disinterested to me. Now he and I were forced together for 3 days, like being stuck on a deserted island. If I were the last woman on earth, would Midnight turn me down? What the hell could he be thinking? Stepping out of the shower, I grabbed 2 towels, wrapped one around my red hair and the other around my body. I swerved into the living room where Midnight had positioned himself in front of the TV. His dress shirt was open. Underneath, he was wearing one of those crisp white undershirts. I could see his gun on his waist, half tucked in his pants. My eyes slid down his legs. I could see another gun he held near his ankle. The blackness, the guns, his muscle structure, that white t-shirt, those white teeth, and his unfiltered anger was so seductive. I had to try to get with him. Do you want me to wash your clothes? I'm getting good at it now. No, that's okay, he said, without even taking as much as a look at me. I stepped over and into the chair opposite him. I'm tired, I said, stretching my arms slowly above my head. Go to bed then, he answered cruelly as if he didn't want to be bothered. I picked up my legs and placed them on the arm of my chair. I was now going to become the freshly showered, hair wrapped, body wrapped in a towel ivory girl. I started playing games with my legs, repositioning them, opening them slowly, closing them slowly. I was making it possible for him to see the hairs on my netherlands, if he only wanted to. When I got excited enough, my juices would start to flow, releasing the scent of a willing netherland. Definitely something he wouldn't be able to fight. Are you a homosexual, Midnight? Because if you are, that's cool. To each his own and all that good stuff. He laughed a rear laugh, and without turning around, he said, Go to bed, little girl. Little girl? Do these look like little girl breasts to you? I stood up and released the towel, dropping it to the floor. I wanted him to see my 34Ds so he could take back his insult. I wanted him to see my whole body. He stayed stiff like a mummy, unaffected by my nakedness. And I mean, I was butt naked, standing in the middle of a hotel suite which was designed for screwing. Midnight leaned up, grabbed the remote, and started surfing channels. I'll see you in the morning, he said finally, like a father would. I sucked my teeth, picked up my towel, and returned to the bathroom. I washed, rinsed, and twisted the clothes as if they were the source of my anger, laying each piece out to dry separately, some by the heater, some on the shower curtain. I tiptoed into the bedroom, not wanting to wake my sisters. I grabbed one of the pillows from the bed and sat my bare butt in a comfortable chair next to the bedroom window where I slept. In the morning, I used the hotel blow dryer conveniently situated on the bathroom wall to finish drying the damp clothes. I slid into my dress, hating the idea of repeating yesterday's fashion. Without a proper cleaning, the clothes were stiff and rough like cardboard. Brushing my hair into a French bun, I heard Midnight talking. I pushed open the door connecting to the living room. He abruptly ended a conversation he had been having on his cell phone. What's up? I asked. Your mother is out of surgery. She's still in intensive care, but she's going to be all right. Montenegro and Ferrara are at the hospital now, looking after her. Yeah, right, I mumbled. The first people I'm sure she'll want to see when she opens her eyes has to be the bodyguards. I rolled my eyes. Come on, drive me over to the hospital. I want to see my mother. Nah, Midnight responded coolly. Your father said you should relax. We'll get the kids ready and I'll go shopping. They should like that. We can run around a little, or they can run around a little. Santiago called. You knew I wanted to talk to him. Why didn't you call me to the phone? I screamed. Take it easy, Winter. I don't know how it happened, but just then I lost control. Is it that you don't hear me? Or am I speaking French, mother effer? I want to see my mother. I want to talk to my father. I turned quick and grabbed the hotel phone so I could beep Santiago. Midnight grabbed my wrist, causing me to drop the phone. I spun around wildly, asking, What the F is up with you? He didn't answer. I pushed him. As I swung on him, he used his strong body to restrain me. Stuck in his grip, I cursed him. Get the car ready. I'm going to the hospital. Instead of slapping the crap out of me, he hugged me even tighter. Feeling his warm body close against mine, my resistance stopped and I found myself crying into his shoulder, over his shoulder. I saw two of my little sisters staring at us. What's up with you two? The 8-year-old asked. Midnight turned my body and face away from the girls and whispered in my ear, It's all right, Shorty. I knew you would break down sooner or later, but you gotta hold it together or your sister's gonna start bugging too. When I saw my own tears fall into my hands, I got mad at myself for crying. It was not like me, but I liked the feeling of being tied up on midnight. I liked the way he was holding me. I even liked the way he was treating me right at this moment. So I pushed it. I took a genuine situation and was about to make it work for me. Cry some more. Get even closer for a little longer. But then three of my sisters tried to muscle their way into my act. One by one, they started crying too. Midnight released my body, looked around the room at 4 weeping willows, and got a look on his face that indicated he couldn't stand the pressure. All right, whoever showers and gets dressed first gets $50. Their tears turned into excitement as they shot into the bathroom to box each other out for the dough. The money was like smelling salts. It revived everyone. Midnight turned toward me. Yo, shorty tough. 2 more days. That's it. Then you'll be back home. Try to stay cool, you know. I couldn't answer. I was straight in love with this brother. I was replaying my new nickname, Shorty Tough. Trying to break the spell, Midnight waved a stack of cash back and forth in front of my eyes. Yo, you must be an imposter. Where's Winter? Nobody has to ask her twice to go shopping, he said, flashing a rear smile. I laughed, grabbed my jacket, and said in a sexy way, I'm ready. At the mall, the war of wheels kicked in. I had one side of the hanger with a mini skirt. I wanted to purchase while Midnight's tight grip held the other side. My sisters ran in and out of the aisles under the clothes racks, while me and Midnight argued. With one hand on my hip, I clenched my teeth and spit. I've worn skirts like this before. It's my choice. Don't act like you never seen me rock a mini before. How and why did Midnight think he can tell me what I can and cannot wear? Now I'm saying, maybe if he was giving me some, making me feel good and relaxed, I might have considered his ideas. You check this out, Shorty. I'm responsible for you right now. Whatever you did before is your business. For these 2 days, you're going to wear something decent. Come on, put this back. He grabbed my hand and led me out the boutique while my sisters traveled close behind. His touching my hands sent a sensation between my legs and through my body. Now I wanted that miniskirt. I had others like it, but him grabbing me in a rough style made me want him even more. It seemed like now that he cared, I was breaking down through his ice cold waves, and it was worth temporarily losing control. He led me upstairs into Bloomingdale's. Now wait here. He moved around the clothes wax with the rhythm of a leopard on a hunt. He held up an Eileen Fisher pantsuit. All right, this is banging. This is something I would pick for my sister to wear. Let's go get some shoes, he said. Now, the pantsuit was fly, I'll admit. The material was high quality, and all that was good. But Midnight's comment had reduced me to the level of his sister. Is this something you would want Tasia to wear? Who? Tasia. Tasia, your girl. 'Cause I don't give a care what you would want your sister to wear. I want to know what you would want your girl Tasia to wear. Tasia is not my girl, he denied. I rolled my eyes. That's not what I heard. F what you heard. You and them silly chicks you be with. They don't know me. They just chickens. A bunch of chickens who ain't got nothing to do except run their mouths. I placed both hands on my hips. So are you saying you weren't messing with Tasia? Or Tasia? Is that what you want me to do to you? He said. Mess with you, then talk about it with some other chick? I weighed his words, thinking, is this like some type of trick question or something? Yes, I want him to mess with me. Hadn't I made that clear? No, I didn't want him to talk about me with some other hoe. I want him for myself. Was he calling me a hoe? Eff it, wear what you want to wear, he said, frustrated. I got all the things he liked for me. We picked up some clothes for the kids. We ended up in FAO, Swart's toy store. Midnight wanted to find me some games for the girls to play with, to minimize their missing mommy and daddy, and most of all, to stop them from asking too many questions. The more fun they had, he figured, the less questions they would ask. When we were finished, we had so much stuff it looked like a late Christmas. We had so much fun, we had forgotten about lunch and had worked up quite the appetite for dinner. It was clear to me that Midnight was in control for now, so I didn't even ask where we were going to eat or try to give directions. I just sat back and waited for him to take us to the spot of his choice. We went to a North American Lobster Company somewhere in Jersey City. I felt nothing but delight. The tables were big and round. Each one had a beautiful candle centerpiece with sexual flicking flames. The male customers wore white shirts and ties, placing their business jackets carefully on the back of their chairs. The women quietly talked to their mates, their faces soft and expressive. 100% class. There was no doubt that Midnight was as smooth as Santiago. He was made just for me. He lifted Mercedes and Lexi into their chairs, pulled the chair out for Portia. Do you have any kids, Midnight? Silence. Answer the question, I insisted. You ever seen me with a kid? He asked, now aggravated. That's not the point. A lot of boys, men, kids, got kids everywhere, but you never see them. Yeah, well, I'm not a lot of dudes. If I had a kid, everybody would know. I felt easy again. How old are you anyway? I asked, already knowing the answer. You starting to sound like the police. Not hardly, I said with a sexy smile. I'm 22. Without missing a beat and without being asked, I responded, I'm 18 in 3 weeks. He looked at me seriously like, lying sure comes easy to you. You don't have to take a breath, blink, twitch, nothing. The lies just roll straight off your tongue. How old do you think I am? I asked Midnight. Portia jumped in. She's 16. She'll be 17 in January. I pinched her leg under the table. Back in the hotel room, we played Goldfish, Pity Pat, I Declare War, Old Maid, Candyland, Trouble, and Sorry before the three little ones passed out. Everything was less tense than yesterday evening. And for me, this meant an opportunity. Before I could organize my approach, however, Midnight grabbed the remote and clicked on CNN News. I got up and stood in front of the television. He had entertained the kids. It was time for him to entertain me. He got an instant look of disgust on his face. Why don't you do something with yourself? Asked Midnight, annoyed. I glanced up toward the mirror to check my appearance. I look good to me. So I asked, something like what? I don't know. What do you do? What are you into? My mind drew a blank. So what's up, Shorty? What's the answer? I smiled, liking the fact that he was playing with me.
The answer to what? I asked. He shook his head as though I was frustrating him or something. What? Is there something you want to hear? Something I'm supposed to say? What? I asked you a question. What are you into? What do you like to do? My mind started clicking. I like to enjoy myself, I said with much attitude. What do you know about that, Midnight? I like to feel good, relax, get high, screw, dance, shake my butt, shot. I like to be turned on. I like to turn and nothing gone. What do you read? He asked. What's the name of the last book you read? I like movies. I like chilling with my girls. Matter of fact, if I wasn't stuck here with you right now, I have plenty of good stuff to get into. What do you want to be when you grow up, Winter? Whatever. Maybe I'll get a job like yours, I said, cutting back at him and letting him know me and him are the same kind of people. I got plans, he said, going back into himself. Midnight went over to his leather bag, unzipped it, and said, Here, pick out a book or tape. Do something with yourself. Just stay out of my way. The Art of War, The Wretched of the Earth, The Judas Factor were a few of the books Midnight had in his case. They didn't look interesting to me, and I wasn't going to read nothing I didn't want to just to get his attention. I went for the tapes. He had Sade, Albie Shore, Stephanie Mills, In Vogue, and Blackstreet. Mainly the old school, cool out stuff. I snatched up his Walkman. The wire for the headphones was twisted in between Midnight's wallet flap. When I pulled the Walkman wire, the wallet flipped open. With my back to him, I went through his stuff. He had a picture of a dark-skinned older woman. She looked about 30-something. She had dark eyes and was wearing a scarf. The next window was a picture of a girl. She seemed about 14 years old, with a cute little face and big innocent eyes. I figured it must be his sister. She seemed way too young to be his girlfriend. She was dark just like him. Also inside the wallet was a piece of paper folded twice over. It was old and worn. I opened it carefully, trying not to make noise. It was a flyer advertising a Sister Soldier speaking event. Covering most of the page was a picture of her. The voice from the radio and the face on the picture didn't match. I had pictured her to look like a man, rough hands with veins popping out of her neck. In the picture, she looked normal, young, with a decent face. She looked like a regular uptown Harlem girl. You know, in the picture, she had her mouth wide open. On the bottom of the page was an event address. Brooklyn Friendship Baptist Church on Herkimer Street. I quickly folded it up and slid it back into the wallet. I laid the wallet back into its overnight bag and went into my room, closing the connecting door. Taking one of the pillows from the bed, I set up the corner chair for myself once again. I turned on an old Albie Shore jam and drifted off to All I Do Is Think About You Night and Day. I can't say that I remember my entire dream that night, but I do remember a vision of me and Midnight's children. There were three of them. The oldest was a nappy-headed, rugged-looking boy, my son, rough the way I like him. The girls had good hair like me. They were the color of hot caramel with diamond earrings. All of them were styling in complementary colors. Jumpers with some fly kicks on. They didn't even have been invented yet. When I pushed the door open the next morning, Midnight was stretched out on the floor doing push-ups in his undershirt and undershorts. He was breathing and sweating. My eyes raced across his body. I'll drive you home tonight about 10 o'clock. He said, inhale, exhale. Everything's straight. Santiago will be there. We just need to find something to do with the girls today, to keep their attention. At the count of 150, he dropped and rolled over on his back. He curled up his fist in his undershirt, exposing a solid six-pack in his stomach. What do you think we can get the shorties into today, he asked. I didn't respond. Winter, what up? You in there? I smiled. He looked into my eyes and smiled. You always looking for trouble. Some stuff you can't even handle. Midnight delivered us home at 10 p.m. sharp. My handsome father was standing in the doorway waiting. His white linen suit gleamed in the light from the moon. His big hands rested in his pockets. He embraced Midnight as if he was family. He held my younger sisters in his arms one by one and gave me the warmest, securest hug back into my home, my safe home. The house was extra clean. The music, an old Earth, Wind, and Fire album, played softly in the background. Santiago took Midnight into the den. Midnight came out a short while later, offering a general good night without so much a glance in my direction. Santiago sent my sisters off to bed with the idea that Mommy was away, as if on a trip, and would be home next weekend with candy and presents for everyone. Daddy followed me to my bedroom. I knew to be quiet. Santiago looked more peaceful than he did the day of the shooting incident. I switched on the lamp on my vanity table and the added light revealed a strange scar on the right side of my father's head. There was a maroon-colored dent hidden close to the right side of his hairline. The scar just made him more muscular than ever, just tough, sexy, unstoppable. All right, Daddy, just fill me in. Whatever you need me to do, I'm down for you. Just let me know the plan. He smiled. How's Mommy? I asked. Your mother's okay. She's a soldier. She'll be home by the end of the week. Now, she'll have bandages. She'll have to take it easy for a while, but we'll all help make it easier for her. You know how conceited she is, he added, half joking. So don't act like anything's wrong with her face. She will have to have some type of treatment after a couple of weeks. I got something to make her forget the whole thing. He signaled me to follow him. He led me down the hallway to the back window. Take a look. My mouth dropped open when I saw the big red set S600 V12 Mercedes Benz with the thick red bow and ribbons everywhere. Oh, shoot, I mumbled. My mind started working up a new wardrobe. If you're going to sport a ride like this, you got to be dressed to kill. Me and Mommy would have to go shopping immediately. Santiago was still talking, but I couldn't hear him anymore. I kept seeing the expression on Natalie's and Simone's faces when I came to Brooklyn pushing not a 190 baby Benz, not a 280, but a S600 V12. Will my mother let me drive it, or will she think of only herself? Will she make me wait until Santiago bought me a car, or will she kick it with me like sisters would? Wait a minute. She was sick. Maybe she need me to drive around and do errands for her. Maybe she'll be a passenger for about a year or so. Okay, I thought. Maybe she'll let me drive her around. But she wouldn't let me chill in the car with Natalie and them. It would defeat the purpose of having a red Benz if you couldn't flash it for your girls riding around flexing. You know how many dudes would be on my bra strap after they saw me behind the wheel? Mad dudes. I'd be making them beg me, do stuff they wouldn't ordinarily do, kiss my butt, suck my toes. I started cracking up. Santiago looked at me like I was bugging. I straightened my face. Now, I've known a lot of cats who've been shot before. Shot all over the body, the leg, the chest, the stomach. But every dude I know been shot in the head, never been the same no more. That's the stuff that worries me. That's the stuff that makes me want to kick my own tail for letting this happen. Winter, where's your head at? I'm talking to you. If me and you are on point, everything else will fall into place. Here's what I need from you. Stay out of Brooklyn until I tell you it's okay. What? I said. Now listen to you, he said. 10 minutes ago, you were saying, just tell me the plan. I'm down for you, Santiago. Now you're ready to betray me. No, Santiago, never betrayal. Betrayal is for suckers. That's what you taught me. I'll do what you want. I'll stay out of Brooklyn until you tell me otherwise. And less talking is better. A whole lot less talking. You know how we do. The less you know, the better off we all are. And don't get too comfortable just because we're out here in the suburbs. Play your hand close to your chest like you're still in the ghetto. Trust no one and answer no questions. Don't give anybody our phone number who doesn't already have it. Now, don't get paranoid. Just don't get sloppy. A long pause fell. I broke the silence. You know when Midnight called the night of the incident and said he was coming to get us? I didn't know whether I should have beeped you to confirm what was going on, or just go along with what he was telling me to do. I figured everything was cool with him because it's always been. It's good that you thought twice about it, Santiago said, but Midnight's clean. He's as loyal as a blood-born son. I never had a problem out of him. I could have left him. I couldn't have left him with my girls if I didn't think I could trust him with my money and my life. Why, everything went okay, right? Didn't it? No, it went fine. He was a real gentleman, I said firmly, as to not cause no problem between the two men I love. Where did you meet Midnight? He was just a kid who had a brush with the law. You know how they do. They don't want to give a kid a second chance. They force a man into a position where he can't survive, can't make no money. But when I first saw him, I knew he would be a good worker. He just had it in his eyes. Plus, he didn't have no family. A cat like that is going to be loyal. He needed to be able to take care of himself. What happened to his family? I haven't seen you this interested in nothing. What's all the questions about? You know, Daddy, I'm growing up. Look at me. I'll be 17 soon. Santiago watched me spin from left to right. Yeah, you are growing up. I've been thinking about that a lot lately. He put his head down into his hands as though this topic was too heavy for him. What about it? I asked. Do you know what I want for you? I want you to settle down, meet a nice guy, one of those budding doctors or lawyers or engineers. You talking crazy, Daddy. No, seriously, Winter. My life from the outside is all good. But believe me, whether it's actually all good or bad, right or wrong, there's no letting up. No time to relax and just enjoy life. It's right when you think you've made enough big moves, now that you can take a deep breath. That's when the next guy gets you. He'll figure he caught you sleeping, call you a tired old fool, and move on you. Nobody wants to be all the time with one eye looking over your shoulder and one eye at the door. You, Winter, you deserve better. You deserve to relax. Kick back, have it easy, have the finer things in life. No stress. One of these big-headed doctors, lawyers, engineer boys around this neighborhood can give you all that. A man in Midnight's line of work can't. What you think of chapter 4, child? That was good. I forgot that Mama got shot. I read this when it first came out. I had to buy it again, even though I still have my old copy. That was good. Okay. Thanks for watching. That was chapter 4. Go ahead and subscribe. Turn on the notifications so you'll know the next time I upload. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.